He is.
Yeah.
Oh,
They,
Hey.
tonight they are?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they're not, they didn't go together. What?
You need a reader.
I need readers,
Oh.
yeah, and I forgot to bring.
You must be 40. That's when it goes down.
Okay. Oh, it's like perfect. Yeah.
Somebody wants up there.
Yeah.
I
like to call this regular board meeting of the Saugatuck Township Board to order Wednesday, May 11 at 6 p.m. I'll call the roll. Aldrich,
Here.
Bickford,
Here,
Helmut,
Here.
Marcy's not here, she's excused, and Osmond. We have a phone. So stand if you can. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And would you like to read the Zoom instructions, please?
It would be my pleasure. Please say your name before speaking and before making a motion. Please mute yourself when you are not speaking. Do not click unknown links that may be shared in the Zoom chat. The township does not disseminate information with this function. This meeting is being recorded. Please be respectful of those speaking and do not interrupt. If anyone is disruptive to the point of preventing the township board from conducting business, you will get one warning before being removed from the meeting. If there is a problem with Zoom, the meeting will be reset utilizing the same meeting information. If the meeting is unable to continue, a notice will be issued on the township Facebook page and website, and a reminder to board commission members that emailing or texting is not allowed during a public meeting.
Thank you. Approval of the agenda. Everybody had a chance to look at it, and do I hear any motion?
A motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Support.
All those in favor?
Aye.
aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Now is the time for public comments. If you would speak into the microphone, please, and respect the 3-minute time limit.
I'm Shearing from Park Commission. I just wanted to give you a quick update on our bench. Ken and I back there in fact, it's been about 2 weeks ago, we went to Poly Products, which is a little bit east of Lansing, picked up the bench, it easily fit in an SUV. We probably could get 2 of them in. We could get 2 of them in, and that would save us a little bit of transportation cost. It was $875, or I guess about $870, including the inscription. The price has been gone up since we did it about 2 months ago, since we placed our order. The price has gone up twice. Not a whole lot, but depending on the lettering, you can have 1, 2, or 3 letters or lines of inscriptions. Our donation policy is $1,500, so it'll more than cover the increase. Our plan is to put this outside. We're working on the lady at Poly Products to come up with a flyer, because the pricing changes. She's trying to get it updated where things stabilize. So then we'll have a flyer that we can put in the local paper, or put on Facebook to encourage donations. Once it's within the next couple of weeks, we'll put it outside, and folks that are interested can see the bench and then come up with what they want, what kind of inscription they want. Took us about 45 minutes to put it together. It goes together pretty easily. So that's the bench. Any
So you
questions?
could do a memorial bench or something?
Yeah, the idea is, see that one, we just put Saugatuck Township on the top of that.
Yeah.
If you want to put it in memory of something, you could put for my sister so-and-so who passed away. And in her memory, like a lot of the ones in town, there's some in Saugatuck, some in Douglas. That's the idea. We have one person that's interested. We wanted to put hers at Alamance Park. I talked to her about that. It appears, like in my little update, the bike trail is not going to get going until 2024. They're still waiting for the grant approval. They were hoping to do some construction in 2023, but so I don't know what to do. I think I'll talk to her and see if she wants to put it temporarily someplace else. She's going to be here this summer, and I'll be in contact with her. We'll bring her over here and look at the bench, take her to some other places that she might consider. We located about 20 places in between the dog park, Veterans Park, Sundown, River Bluff, where we could put benches, so that's our plan. That's the bench class.
All right, thank you, Jim, that's great.
Okay, I'm
Nice.
gonna leave Benny Diaz's last home meet of our local star, you know, he's probably one of the best hurdlers, sprinters in the country, high school kids, so wanna go see him.
You're real loud.
Okay, take care.
Again, great seeing everybody. I know all of you appreciate your fire chief. I so much appreciate him. He's been fighting a little bit of a fight with dispatch. And I don't know if he's going to do this, but he's been really leading a charge and looking at how to decrease response time, increase response times to victims. Like if there's an accident, there's a fire, there's been, I don't know if did he mention it to you at all? But anyway, they end up when dispatches a PI accident, they dispatch the sheriff's department, then they go through actually it's a national method of asking questions. There's about 10 questions at least to everything. Is somebody hurt? Where's the car at? They go through all this transition and 2 to 4 minutes can elapse within that. And the chief, along with Lake Town and Hamilton, have led a charge going, dispatch us right away. We're seeing a 3 to 5 minute lag within getting there. We're the ones who are the experts within treating somebody, helping somebody. So once again, I'm just impressed by his professionalism and just know he is always trying to be more efficient within how he does work. He's someone who can look at, maybe we could do it better all the time. So just very much appreciate that guy. He is all about it and he's doing a great job for your citizens. Also know that the county health rankings came out. We're in Elwin County ranked amongst the highest counties in the state, in the Michigan. So I think you saw what happened within COVID, the great job they did. And my hats off to as far as they increased in all areas as far as how the efficiency of what they do and how they do it. And then just to mention to you, I've talked to you before about the body cameras and I mentioned a date. They haven't been able to get some of the parts for it, like everything else. So the body worn camera solutions, the final date is August 10. They do have 2 that are available. And I didn't mention this to you before, but a sergeant can actually access every deputy that's on the road and actually push a button and go and listen to what's going on, see what's going on, to really help assess what's going on. And let's say if the officer got in trouble, actually people can hear him to get him help that way too. So I think it's something good for the police officer as far as this could be a big safety thing for him. And it's a real assurance to the victims too, as far as to people. If there was something that an officer did wrong, they can see it and you'll know it instead of somebody assuming it. So that's excellent too. And then do you know what an MCT is? Probably not. But in all police cars, you have MCTs. They're mobile terminals as far as you run a plate, run a person, run a gun. It does that. That's 2/3 of the way done. They're doing 6 to 8 per day. And that was a big project that they're doing. Also, if you didn't know this, they're trying to put in a marina in this lake. I've been spending all sorts of time on that issue. I was on a 3-hour Zoom a couple days ago on that whole issue with a lot of people upset about it.
We have a marina issue too.
I know you do. But anyway, thanks so much. Have a great meeting.
Oh, thank you.
Good seeing you.
Thank you.
You bet. Take care.
Public comment?
Evening, everybody. My name is Brian Granner from Ivy House. My wife Candace couldn't be here. She's giving tours to pay for other venues here in Holland right now. Daniel's going to go into the specifics, but we created a development agreement back in October or November of last year, in which we said, if the drainage district is established, we have to connect into it. If it's not established, we have to dig our holding area bigger. And so we've already laid all the pipe work in for it. We're all set to do it. It's coming to a point where we need to, the original development agreement said you've got to dig your existing pond down deeper, which we've run into water. So we had a bunch of conference calls with Dana as well as Daniel. They've been so accommodating. In lieu of us spending $30,000 to dig a hole and then spending $30,000 to fill it back in, we've come up with a temporary berm that will meet those needs until it's decided whether or not to do development district or not. It's still about $14,000 to do the berm, so there's a big commitment from us, but that will allow us occupancy. So I'm sure Daniel will go into more details, but just wanted to let you know, it's really crucial to us that we can do that. We've booked over 115 weddings now, and our first one's still June 24th, so that's it. And I always travel to Lansing area. If I need to pick up benches, I drive a truck. I'm no joke. Happy to do that. Thank you, guys.
Right.
Don't see any more public comments. Do you have any online?
Nobody on Zoom.
Okay, then we'll close the public comment section of the agenda and move on to the consent agenda. Has everybody had a chance to look at the reports and comments that are in there? Yes, I'll entertain a motion.
I move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
I will support.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Moving on to our next agenda item, which would be correspondence. It looks like there isn't any. That would be a first. So we'll move on to the new business, and the first one is our recycling request, the household hazardous waste day. Daniel?
So the Tri-Community Recycling Committee is hosting their second annual Household Hazardous Waste Drop-Off event. That's scheduled from 3 to 7 p.m. on May 24th. The event's open to all residents in Saugatuck Township, the city of Saugatuck, and the city of Douglas. Right now, we have 175 spots filled out of 288, so there's still 113 available. And out of all the residents who have signed up, over 50% are residents of the township. So the committee chair, Garnett Lewis, came to our last meeting and gave you all a request of $5,000 contribution to the event. That same request went to the city of Saugatuck and the city of Douglas, both of which have approved it. So now it's before you, whether we would like to contribute $5,000 to fund the household hazardous waste event. And just kind of in addition to that, the Rotary Club is funding $10,000, contributing $10,000 to that event, and the fire district has generously donated $1,000. So there's a total of $26,000. That's about what it cost last year to fund the event.
Thank you. I think at our last meeting, we did have a nice presentation from Garnet. So if there's no further questions for Daniel, I would entertain a motion.
I move to approve a $5,000 contribution to the TCRC in support of the 2022 HHW drop-off event.
Is there support?
I'll support.
This is a roll call. I'll just do a roll call. That's how I say it. Aldrich?
Yes.
Bickford?
Yes.
Elmer?
Yes.
Osman? Yes, motion carries. And our next item is the amendment of the 66th Street Special Assessment District Resolution.
Yes, and this is a roll call.
Okay, because it's a resolution.
So on September 8th, 2021, the township confirmed the 66th Street Water Special Assessment District #1 roll in the amount of $545,000. So this is the water main extension on 66th Street by the Van Horn Pond. So since that time, we went out for bid and the township was able to reduce the cost of the public improvement project to $478,000. So a significant reduction. So the resolution before the board is essentially amending the previous resolution that was approved in confirming the reduction in cost to $478,000 for the public improvement project. There is one minor change that we made very last minute from the amendment that was in the packet. So a last minute question came up about whether or not the roll should appear or the assessment should appear on the winter and summer taxes. Previously, the resolution approved the assessment appearing on the summer taxes. And after consulting with the lawyer and the financial advisor, there might have been a slight benefit to moving it to winter. And so that's what we're doing. So resolution is identical, except that it specifies that the assessment is going to appear on residents' winter tax bill, not their summer tax bill.
Okay, does anybody have any questions for Daniel?
I was just gonna make a comment. We caught that this week.
We did,
Because
yeah.
traditionally, special assessment district, millage, or not villages, but charges to taxpayers always go up in the winter. I'm not sure why they initially said summer, but it made sense to be consistent with our history and the way things work to do this the new tax year on the winter bill.
If they were to add more lots, which I heard was a possibility, that would not include those, correct?
That would not include those.
Okay,
no,
that would
yes,
be,
that's right.
they'd have to do a whole separate thing and it might not, okay,
That's exactly right.
okay, gotcha.
Okay, if there's no more questions or comments, I would entertain a motion.
As treasurer, I would like to make this motion and applaud and endorse anytime you see something going from 545,000 to 478,000. That's good direction. So I move to adopt resolution 2022-07, a resolution to confirm the amended special assessment role, lien payment and collection of special assessments for the 66th Street Water Special Assessment District Number 1.
I would support.
Okay. Elmer,
Yes.
Aldrich,
Yes.
Bickford,
Yes.
Osmond, yes, motion carries. Our next item is a resolution adopting the fact that the master plan was reviewed at its 5-year deadline.
And this is a roll call.
Yeah.
There's a lot of roll calls.
It's a resolution, I brought my roll call sheet.
Oh, perfect.
But we're shorter today, so that's good.
So the Municipal Planning Act requires that a municipality conduct a review of their master plan every 5 years following the adoption of the master plan. And the last time that the township reviewed our master plan was 2016, so we are due for a review. And we did take, or the Planning Commission did take steps to initiate that review. So on January 19th, 2021, the Township Board and Planning Commission held a joint meeting at which time the board and commissioners discussed the master plan, and they established 4 advisory committees to review distinct aspects of the master plan, which included rural character and conservation, economic development, attainable housing, and then safety, specifically safety along the Blue Star, which were all previously identified by the Planning Commission as significant aspects of the master plan. And this time around, from the guidance of our zoning administrator, we were encouraged, or the Planning Commission was encouraged to look at, or in reviewing the master plan, to look at it in terms of how does the current zoning ordinance match the master plan, and were there opportunities to amend the zoning ordinance such that it would better satisfy the goals of the master plan. And that process went on for nearly a year. All of those committees have submitted substantial recommendations to the Planning Commission and the zoning administrator. And at this point in time, our zoning administrator is recommending that the board approve or pass a resolution that essentially says that the Planning Commission has completed their 5-year review of that master plan.
Okay, are there any questions for Daniel before we accept the motion? Anyone like to make a motion?
I will move to adopt resolution 2022-08 regarding the 5-year review of the township's master plan.
Anybody support?
I'll support.
Okay, we have a motion and support. Is there any further discussion? I will call the roll. Elmer,
Yes.
Aldrich,
Yes.
Bickford,
Yes.
Osmond, yes, motion carries. Train petition application resolution and petition resolution. This is, we've talked about this before. So you want to just hit the highlights, Daniel?
I will hit the highlights. Okay, so yeah, we did initiate this before. The Drain Commission has come back to us with 2 resolutions that need to be approved in order to get things moving. So just so you're clear, before you are two distinct resolutions. Resolution 2022-09, which authorizes the filing of an application with the Allegan County Drain District Commissioner for laying out and designating a drainage district. And then the second one is Resolution 2022-10, which authorizes the filing of a petition for the location, establishment, and construction of the drain. So again, there's kind of a summary of what would happen after you approve, or if you choose to approve these resolutions. There is some estimated costs associated, which are the same as what was presented in February. So about approximately $5,000 to $10,000 for the petition itself. And then the estimated construction cost share, which is approximately $20,000. We don't know exactly how much it costs because the size of the district has not been confirmed. But those are the two resolutions that are before you.
Any questions or comments for Daniel? Anybody like to make a motion?
I move to approve the adoption of resolution 2022-09, a resolution for application for laying out and designating a drainage district.
Is there support?
I'll support.
Okay, we have motion and support. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call the roll. Bigford,
Yes.
Aldrich.
Yes.
Helmrich,
Yes.
Osman, yes, motion carries. And then we have another resolution, the second one.
I move to approve the adoption of resolution 2022-10, a resolution for petition to locate, establish, and construct a drain.
I'll support.
Any further discussion? Aldrich,
Yes.
Helmrich,
Yes.
Bigford,
Yes.
Osman, yes, motion carries. Move on to the Ivy House Development Agreement Amendment. We've heard a little bit about this today, and we've heard a lot about this at previous meetings.
So the board did approve a development agreement for the Ivy House project. And that's between the township, Bryant Grant, and Grant Venue LLC. There have been a few developments since the approval of that agreement. One of them is that the board has moved forward to establish a county drain district, which would include the property on which Ivy House is located. The second one is that the agreement required that the developer excavate their detention pond to an elevation of 611. They excavated the pond to an elevation of 613.4 and hit water. And our township engineer, Dana Bird, and the developer's engineer both agreed that there is no point in digging further because it would not increase their stormwater capacity. So that has been a change. The other one is that the development agreement does require the developer to oversize the stormwater detention area in the case that they would not be able to connect with a county drain, but they're hoping to be open prior to the drain being fully functional. And so they're asking what can be done in the meantime. Do they have to fully excavate that detention pond, or is there another option for them? Working with them, our township engineer has identified that they could build a berm on the south portion of the property, which essentially would hold in stormwater, or at least direct that stormwater onto their own property, and that would be a sufficient kind of stopgate measure. They were very responsive and submitted elevations and a new exhibit to our township engineer, who has reviewed it and approved it. And so we have updated their development agreement. Our attorney has reviewed it and sees no issue with it.
Perfect. Are there any questions or comments for Daniel?
I just have one, I'm reading it, but I just want to underscore and clarify that
Yeah,
in section 5 on page 4, the performance guarantee is definitely a part of this agreement.
yeah, nothing changes except for requiring that they construct the berm
Right.
in the meantime, and that, yeah, so everything stays the same in the development agreement, except for those two things, that they don't have to excavate the pond to an elevation of 611, it's fine at 613.4, and that in the meantime, prior to the drain being functional, that they construct a berm, temporary berm, that they can remove at their discretion once they are connected to
To the drain.
the county drain, yes. Thank you, you're very welcome.
Any other comments or questions for Daniel? Now I'll take a motion.
I will move to approve the draft development agreement dated May 3rd, 2022, and authorize the township supervisor and clerk to execute this agreement on behalf of the township.
I'll support. Okay, we have a motion and a support. Is there any further discussion? Elmer,
Yes.
Aldridge,
Yes.
Bickford,
Yes,
Osmond, yes, motion carries.
Thank you, everybody. I greatly appreciate it. You guys have a good night.
Okay, our next one is the June Pride Month proclamation.
So this has been a tradition since 2019, so well done, everyone. So since 2019, the board has designated June as Pride Month as a way to affirm that Saugatuck Township is an accepting and welcoming place to people of diverse backgrounds, that the LGBTQ+ communities greatly contribute to the success of Saugatuck Township, and to encourage our residents to reflect on the ongoing struggle for equality facing members of the LGBTQ+ community. The board should consider reaffirming this message by designating June 2022 as Pride Month in Saugatuck Township.
I don't suppose there's any questions, so I will entertain a motion.
I move to designate June as Pride Month in Saugatuck Township.
I support.
Okay, we have a motion and support. Is there any further discussion?
I would just like to add that as we have done since 2019, we will fly the pride flag at the township hall throughout the month of June.
And we know where it is.
Oh, yeah, I put it there. After last year.
Aldridge,
Yes.
Bickford,
Yes,
Elmer,
Yes.
Osmond, yes, motion carries. The next item is old business, we have none. Treasurer's report, do you want to get the highlights done?
Yes, I'd love to, because they're good, it's all highlights. April was a very cash-rich month for the township. As of May 1st, our general fund bank account stood at $3.3 million, up $600,000 from April 1st. This included the bond payment from Horizon Bank for the Van Horn properties and a retro state revenue payment based on our growth in the 2020 census. General fund revenue was 37% ahead of budget. Permitting is 45,000 ahead of budget, and state revenue sharing is $95,000 ahead of budget because of that retroactive census payment. Expenditures in the general fund were 7% below budget. We continue to run lean. Across all funds, revenue is 20% ahead of budget and expenditures are 35% behind. Quick ARPA, American Relief Plan update. As I wrote here, as far as I can tell, we met the filing deadline with the US Treasury for reporting. No one is quite sure if they will actually confirm this with municipalities. They don't seem to be answering emails and phone calls. We can address our usage plan at the May board workshop next week. It was suggested at the Michigan Municipal Treasurers Association conference I attended last week that the easiest route is to use the fund for payroll. It's easier reporting. Daniel and I are going to have a conference call probably next week or maybe even still this week. The people that presented that at MMTA were from Platt Moran, which is the largest auditing firm in the state. So stay tuned on that one. Tax year 2021 has finally come to a close. We received our delinquent property tax payment from the county. Of that $121,000, we got $67,000 does remain here in the township. Disbursements, the consent agreement included, I wrote this a week ago, trying to get ahead of things. We had a final winter payout number, our eighth payment for the winter of $54,000 to the fire district and interurban. We also then had dispersed from the $121,000, as I just mentioned. So we're done with last year's tax year. Chart of accounts and budget fiscal year 23. Manager and deputy clerk and I are working together. We're meeting in the morning. Not to bore you with details, but the state has inflicted a major adjustment to the chart of accounts, which are the general ledger, the budget numbers that we charge things to and put revenue into. We have to have this finished by June 30th before our new fiscal year starts, and we're addressing that. And similarly, fiscal year 23 budget, I mentioned to Cindy when we sat down, I think we're actually quite a ways down that line between me and Daniel going through every revenue line and updating projections for next year. And now we're dealing with expenses and setting up new accounts so that the funds we spend are, what should I say, more accurately accounted for in the budget. That's been our goal from day one, to have it more transparent and understandable. And I think we're going to make a big leap forward. We will set a board budget workshop in June. And then separately from that, the public hearing, the taxation, the required state law will be scheduled for June. And I was going to throw out, I don't know if we could do that by the board meeting or not, but we'll do it. We'll do it. And then back to the Michigan Municipal Treasurers Association. So I attended my third year in Mount Pleasant of Basic Institute training, and I graduated. So I am now I have a state treasurer certification. So thank you for your patience with that. And I still have more to learn, but I'm learning every day. Any questions?
From there, we'll move on to the planning commission report, but it looks like there is none.
Planning Commission did not meet last month. I do just want to let the board know, and we'll be dealing with this in June. Two of our commissioners, Dave Eiley and Denise Webster, terms expire. So we will be entertained. I guess have we posted? We're posting the openings as we have to. And then in June, we will vote on those two seats.
They're both interested in continuing, I assume.
I believe so. They both are interested in continuing.
That's good.
Thank you.
Okay, we're up to the manager report.
Yeah, sure.
Do I get the highlights?
Hey, you got time.
Because we had time to read it, and if we have questions, we can ask.
Good, yeah. So website design is going well. If you have questions, let me know. Broadband Action, I think it's Action Group, finally came out with they did a lot of work to put out this survey. They're hoping that every single resident in Allegheny County takes it. It gives us the most accurate map possible of, served, underserved, and not served residents, so they can put out a countywide RFP to get everybody access to broadband. I did go on Sunday and Saugatuck radio show this past Sunday to promote it. So that was fun. But take it, so it's on our website, it's on our Facebook page. I am waiting a little bit to hear from them because they do have a marketing strategy that they're going to come out with, or communication strategy. So I'm waiting to get a little more word on that, and then we'll follow along with that, try to promote it. We are making some improvements to the township meetings.
Oh, I'm sorry, on broadband. Do they have they set sort of a deadline for the survey response?
That's a good question. I want to say it's sometime in the summer, because I think in the fall they want to be able to put out that RFP. So that's something.
I hope they get aggressive in the market.
I do too, otherwise I'm gonna get aggressive and just market it from our end.
Come on, people, here's your chance to weigh in.
Yeah,
Nice if like the schools would do it, like at registration for their kids. I mean, these are, they need it for their kids to do their schoolwork.
that's a good idea.
Like, here, we'll help you do the survey right now. I tried taking it, it was hard.
Was it?
Yeah, I didn't know the answer to a lot of the questions.
Yeah,
I didn't know my speed.
Right, stuff like that.
Who does?
I
yeah.
did a speed test. I know mine and it's really, 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 really slow.
Yeah, I think in the instructions, there might
This
be a
is probably
link.
the slowest, so put that in there.
I'll look at that, but I think in the instructions, there might be a link to like a website that tells you
There
your
is a
speed.
website.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll look at, I'll,
Guessed.
yeah.
Might be bad too.
So that's going on, so I'll give you updates on that
Okay.
as it goes on, because it is, you know, it is a constantly changing topic, and, you know, they're doing a lot of work, there's a lot of developments, but I just kind of wanted to get ahead of it, promote it sooner than later.
Cool.
We are making improvements to township meetings, group effort. Elliot Sturm helped us set up these dual monitors so that the public can see what you're seeing on the screen. Jennifer was a huge help, if not everything, in setting up the microphones, so you can all be heard, which is great. And then we also signed up for a dictation service to help with minutes, because minutes take so much time and effort. So this hopefully will save us some time. So it's dictating, right now, it's dictating exactly what I'm saying. Can't even see it, it's simultaneous with the recording. So after the recording stops, it will send us an email with the entire dictation of the meeting, and we can edit from there. So,
Well, I would like to just underscore and applaud both Daniel and Jennifer's work on this, because it's a new system. It seems to be working perfectly, and I'm thrilled, even though there's not a big audience tonight, but the microphones are back, especially the microphone at the podium, so.
Okay, thanks, Daniel. Open board report, we'll just go around the room.
Did you want to do any, is that it?
That's okay, okay.
Did I skip one?
Well, I just looking at his report.
The only other big
Oh,
thing
I'm
is,
sorry.
That's okay.
the property on Old Allegan Road, that enforcement issue is closed. I don't think it'll be the end of enforcement, but I think it's a big, you know, accomplishment for you all that, you know, you took that on, and it was a big project, and cleanup is done, and all the paperwork will be filed to put the cost of that as a lien on the property. And then,
Can I just add
Okay,
to that?
yeah.
Because I was concerned in terms of the agreement was to put the charge, the $7,000 or so for the cleanup on the outing property on their next year's tax bill. But I double checked with the county, and as I suspected, they have not paid any property tax in 3 years. Well, what's the point of putting it on there if we're not going to see it? And the county, so they are technically due for foreclosure. The county decided to give them a little reprieve. They set the date of March of next year. If they haven't paid up the taxes by March, they're going to foreclose. If and when that happens, because we served the lien, I think we served it today. You and I worked with.
the paperwork hasn't been filed, it has to be.
We worked with council. They will be served, it'll be a lien. If in the future the county sells the property, we can get our money back from their profit on the property. So it's not a done deal, but
I did have a resident upset that they were paying for this, and I said, I think it's.
yeah, it was sort of like,
Mhm.
oh, they're gonna pay, well, they don't pay anything, so.
Right. I mean, they were worried, we were paying, I mean, you know, their
I-
taxes were going to that, and I explained that, you know, so.
I hope the neighbors are pleased
Right.
because it's been a 3-year travail.
Right.
The other thing with planning, we talked last time about the zoning administrator's recommendation about putting out an RFP to completely revise our zoning ordinance. That RFP has been published, and so by June, we should have some proposals in for your review. And then Old Allegan Road, I've been talking with the Allegan County Road Commission about possibly prioritizing Old Allegan for repaving next year. They've said if we commit $200,000 to the repaving project, and that project is about $660,000, that they will guarantee it's on the 2023 project list, which currently it's not. I do have a draft resolution for that I'll be sending to the county commission to review, and then hopefully that will be on the June agenda. And finances, again, just to kind of follow up on John, we've been working pretty closely on the budget and spending for this year, so we should have something to report on for the workshop on May 18th. Give an update. I've also have been working on a budget amendment that I can preview to you. It's almost done, but you can't take any action at the workshop. But I can give a rundown of that and kind of give you a glimpse into what the finances actually are for this year, which are extremely rosy.
Okay. Thank you again.
You're very welcome.
We'll do the open board report. Individual volunteers to start.
I don't have anything,
You don't have
so.
I talked with Mr. Shippa, our, the chair of the Emergency Services Committee and our representative earlier this week, and he continues to work very hard on ensuring adequate, well, more than adequate quality ambulance service moving forward. And he's working with John and Daniel and I on that. We'll have more, stay tuned on that.
John?
Do you have anything?
I don't.
I just have one thing. Don't worry. No, I just want to make the board aware, and Daniel and I have talked about this, and I believe we're going to post this soon. But the board of review only has 3 members. And I think it's the last 3 times, if not 4 times they've met, there's only been 2 in attendance, which isn't really fair to those 2 and the assessor. It's depending on each time, but some of them are long. It's a lot of work, and we need a strong board of review. So I'm hoping we post an opening to add a 3rd person that can participate.
Or 2 alternates or 1 alternate?
We can do 2 alternates.
the board of review has alternates.
I think I know ours does.
Does it? Well, we should
Yeah.
look at that. ZBA does, but yeah, that's a good point.
I know somebody interested, I'll.
Okay, yeah, because it's such an important role.
It is. So when we are now on public comments. You see any public, Jennifer?
No public.
Okay, so we'll close that portion of the meeting and we will adjourn this meeting at
6:42.
43.
6:43.
Earliest ever.
A record.
No.
Wow, I was saying 7:10. We won't even have started yet.